I'm 24 and unemployed, and this is what my life is looking like at the moment. So I wake up, I make my coffee, and I spend the rest of the day figuring out what to do with my life. A bit of housework, a bit of watering the plants, searching for jobs, but it's just that same routine. And it's a struggle because obviously with a normal 9 to 5, you have your routine kind of set and imposed by the organization. But now it feels like I'm the organization of my own life, and I'm not very good at managing my time and being disciplined and self-motivated. So I feel like I spend quite a bit of my day wasting it watching YouTube, watching Netflix, just kind of not having that drive to do. And I find myself getting very frustrated at myself because I need a job, I need money, and I'm not pushing myself enough to make that happen. Got an interview on Friday for a student mentor role, which could be really good. I'm waiting to hear back from a few places too. And I've also got a few things to do for my uni placement because I'm trying to become a therapist. So I need to get on to doing that. I also might sell some of my old clothes and my girlfriend's old clothes on Vinted, to try and make a bit of money and also just clear out clothes that we don't need. Yeah, so what else? Yeah, I think just struggling with the lack of routine as much as I'm kind of creating my own routine, and feeling a little bit like the last 2 years I've been in roles which have only lasted up to 6 months. Working in the homelessness prevention job, the contract was 6 months. 6 months. Working in a school, the contract was 3 months. And then working in retail, I decided to leave because I found that I didn't have any meaning and purpose when I was doing that role. And I found myself really bored a lot of the time, and also kind of lonely because I'd have to stay in one area where people would be walking past a lot, but they wouldn't necessarily want to engage and have chats. So yeah, you feel a bit isolated, weirdly, in a big, like in a shop where there's loads of people. And then more recently, working in supported housing, that didn't work out. I unexpectedly had to travel about 2 hours to and then 2 hours back from work, which I thought I didn't think I'd be doing. So it wasn't suitable, and that was sucking up any of my sort of free time because I'd spend so much time at work or traveling to and from work. So that was pretty miserable. Yeah, and I'm in this weird space where going into September with my therapy training and my placement, I need 2 weekdays for that because that's when I do those. And then it's like, well, do I get a 3-day job? Is that the right phrase? You know what I mean? Work a 3-day week, or do I then work the weekend to make up and make more money? Do I try and get a high paid job so I can do fewer days? That would be the ideal because I'd rather not work weekends. So I've had to do that over the last nearly year now with the last couple of jobs. Yeah, there's been times where I felt like, do I regret pursuing my therapy training course and wanting to become a therapist, because it's a real strain on money, being able to get by each month when I'm having to pay for travel. I'm very fortunate that my parents um, pay for my course, but paying for travel and um, for therapy, which I do anyway, but paying for therapy each week and travel each week, there's not a lot of money left. And yeah, and then the kind of strain on the fact of I feel like I'm quite limited with what jobs I could actually get um, as a result of needing Fridays off and soon needing Wednesdays off for my placement. I can't do a normal Monday to Friday as a result. And there's 3 more years of this. And I love it, but I feel like there's been quite a few like obstacles, and also the fact that I have typically been working 5 days a week and then 1 day at uni, roughly that, and I'm having to travel very early, get home very late for uni because I go off to London, and I'm based in Cheltenham. And by the way, again, this is all my own doing. It's not like I'm writing this more just kind of chatting about the decisions that I've made about with my course and things, and with my jobs, and just reflecting on it. So I think it's good to take a step back and think about these things and think about the future and where I'm at now and where I've come from. Not to sound cliche, but yeah, I love my course, but I found that it's almost had to be an afterthought sometimes, and that might be just me not. It is definitely partly me not being able to manage my time and put enough time into the course, but it's also, was it the right decision to try and juggle what I was doing where I was working full time and then doing the course one day? It's quite a lot of work. It's master's level as well. I felt like I couldn't really throw myself into it enough. I'd feel tired on the day. It's already quite mentally draining and anxiety inducing sometimes because of the nature of therapy training. Plus the finances, the time that I don't have free time and things like that. So, and yeah, the knock-on effect with the nature of my jobs too. And I feel like I'm still in the pursuit of finding a job that gives me the same level of meaning that I'm actually already feel like I'm getting from sitting in that therapy chair with a client. Even though the clients have been course mates, they are bringing real personal stuff and lived experience. And sitting in that therapy chair as the therapist feels like it gives me such a strong sense of purpose and meaning. And I'm yet to sort of replicate that feeling in other jobs, because I found that other jobs, I find myself really frustrated at the organisation, how things are run, management, over many, like the jobs that I've done broadly, working hours, struggling with work-life balance. I feel fortunate and very privileged that I also don't have the responsibilities of things like being a parent. I'm not a parent. I don't care for my parents. These sort of things which would only increase those kind of struggles. And so I'm in a position where I don't have lots of responsibilities as well, which I'm very fortunate for at this point, because I don't think I'd be able to manage it. Yeah, so where do I go from here? I keep pushing for trying to find a job that could give me, or that I feel a sense of meaning. Yeah, and that I feel like I want to really work with whatever job I'm in and feel really passionate about it, because I think it's easy for me to feel a sense of resentment if I'm having to travel loads or if I'm losing a lot of my own time and time that I could be spending with family, loved ones, friends, myself, and not spending it all at work, which I know is a reality for a lot of us. So this is kind of where I'm at now. I felt like I've been able to see a lot of friends recently whilst being unemployed, um, which has been really, really nice because it's almost like that's been put on hold for a long time because of working weekends, not having much time outside of work, also not being able to manage my work-life balance and letting work consume me as well as uni and all these things. So it's been a time where I'm like, well, I've got all this time in my hands now. It's the perfect time to actually prioritize that and doing nice things. And doing some exploring with my girlfriend around the Cotswolds because we live in the Cotswolds. Seeing family again, just there's been some really nice aspects of not working as well. And I'm sure a lot of people would be very, very grateful if they didn't have to work. And I thought I'd be the same, and I am. But it's also this weird feeling of feeling so lazy and unproductive and not having that routine. A bit like uni when I was doing uni before, when I was like full-time uni, where you have to create your own routine. You might have some kind of lectures or seminars, but you still have to kind of motivate yourself. And that's been the real thing, just not being able to motivate myself. And it makes me feel pretty rubbish because I'm then very self-critical and not very kind to myself, and I just feel like, yeah, I get frustrated at myself because I'm like, why can you not just get up and do these things and apply for these jobs and I don't know, just do grown-up things. But it's all part of it. It's all part of it. Part of living. If any of you are unemployed, what's your experience been of it? Yeah, I'd love to hear from you, and also from any of you who are struggling with your job, or maybe you love your job, and please share what it is that you love about your job. Maybe it gives you a strong sense of purpose and fulfillment. Yeah. Thinking what else? Yeah, as I said, I think the initial bits of being unemployed was great. I was like, I've got some time back, and this is amazing. I can just relax a bit. And there is that, and I'm very, again, I don't want to complain. It's brilliant for that. And the social time and having more time for everything else outside of work. But it's just that lack of routine and the lack of discipline from me, which isn't the healthiest, and struggling to I say struggling, like just not even feeling motivated to kind of get out of the house and do things, because it becomes almost like my norm to be in the house and just kind of